to be able to discern to deeper levels. Because the example you gave about somebody coming to a space and you can discern like, no, this vibration, this is bad vibes. So you can sense what kind of vibration or energy the person is moving around with. My question is, with regards to all of this, is there any role imagination plays in, should I say, growing in one's psychic ability, or even in the work that you do? Even though everything is real and it's not imagined, is there any role in which imagination, should I say, can improve or heighten one's learning?
Because the whole thing is imagination. You see, even people before they went to the moon or go to space, there is no measuring tape that people were able to use to know the distance. But then through imagination, they were able to calculate, and then they could test certain things to prove that their imaginations and their calculations are in same page. Then they planned to build engines that could take people over there and bring them back. The whole thing is, the human mind is so powerful that if you train it towards a particular thing to achieve that, it will. Like the other day I talked about the law of opulence, and the people said they didn't know it, but I don't know how many people checked it up on Google. Opulence. The mind is what we use in doing imagination. It's the mind is what we are using to even see what God is or tell the story about God. Nobody has seen anything called God before, but it is just a human being in his mind to create telling that this is how the heavens are looking like, or I am able to see this, and we bring it. So all that we have is our mind, and our mind is to be used for imagining things and then trying to draw our imagination into physical plane so that it can materialize onto physical thing for us.
Thank you. Thank you,
brother. Thank you very much. Okay, we have on Facebook, we have Desmond Simigil. Okay, we have first Danse Komla. My father, Christopher, you are a great one. Thank you very much, Komla. Is it Komla? Danse Komla. Okay, thank you very much. Akwe. And then I think Desmond is Smigel said, Papa, I need I need to come and see you. Will pay something? Yes, when you come for consultation, you will definitely pay something. Yeah, so please contact the number and they will tell you what you need to bring to see us if you are coming for consultation. But if you are just coming to see me for nothing, then it's okay. Then when you come, don't come and ask me anything. Definitely when you are coming, it's for consultation because you want to ask questions, and time is money. So when you come, definitely you bring something. But then let us know why you want to come and what you are coming to do, then we can just guide you and tell you what things to bring. Okay. If you want to do it for me, talk for you. Yes, we have Charlotte Forte Panel. Greetings, Baba and AMT. Happy to see you are well and safe. Is having a regular conversation with ancestors considered a ritual? Yes, it's also a ritual. Having a very constant and a regular conversation with ancestors is also a ritual. What is a ritual? Ritual is something that you do and you continue doing every time. And with the thought that it will bring some good things to you, even if it affects other people negatively, but to you it should bring good things. So those are our rituals. So a regular conversation with your ancestors, it can be considered a ritual. Because I think in English language they can say the person has the ritual of going to the mountain every morning to go and pray. So it could be a ritual. It could be considered a ritual. I think we don't have any YouTube now because we have lost the connection and it's now loading. Okay, so those on YouTube who might have put some questions there, please, we're trying to get back to the old question. Today we are having real challenges with the network, but we'll just do our best. Okay, Sena.
Papa, there's more questions.
Yes, go ahead. Because we are at around 4 o'clock, we'll be closing because we don't have so many people asking questions, and we'll be closing down and then do some other things. So ask me the questions and let's deal with it, and after that we'll be closing the section.
Okay, all right. I wanted to ask, in Vodu, in terms of business and relationships, what are the limits and what can Voodoo do for you and what can you do for yourself in terms of that? So probably if somebody wants Voodoo to enhance their relationship or to help with their business,
okay.
What are the limits and what can you do for yourself?
Okay, Nuku, the word Voodoo, as I break it down earlier, the word is an Ewe word coming from two different words. One is vo. Vo. I think you understand what vo is.
Yes.
Vo means freedom.
Yes.
Liberty. That is vo. And then edu or do, which means community. So that which can relieve you or give a freedom to a community or to an individual is what is called Vodu. Evo, edu. And what is that? These are spirits that can give you peace of mind, give liberty to a community, give liberty to a town. So the word Vodu is an every word to tell you that anything that you can do to get freedom, whether it is in your business, whether it is in your relationships, or just your socialized life, social life, and whatever you are doing as a human being, that energy that can give you such a freedom is called Vodu. So Vodu can do almost everything for you. But then which Vodu and which Vodu, and that's where it comes. The Vodu, like I was explaining earlier, there will be some Vodus, their work is to protect you only. There are certain Vodus is to help you to achieve your business deals. There are certain Vodus that are there maybe just to help you to do certain other things. To enhance your relationship, make things work easier for you than normal. And even if people are trying to destroy a relationship, there is a Vodu that can be involved that will change that perspective, and it will be in favor of the persons who are in that relationship. So Vodu can do absolutely everything, but to be able to know which Vodu to use for a particular purpose, the best way is to do a reading, asking the oracle that this is my situation. Which Vodu or what should I do to get out of this situation? Then the oracle is going to tell you that, okay, do this, do that, and let this ritual be given to this voodoo, or let it be given to that voodoo, and then the problem will be solved. That's all that it is. So voodoo can absolutely enhance everything: relationship, education, business, whatsoever. So there are so many voodoos. There are some voodoos that are just a perfume oil. Some are just normal perfume. You just wear that perfume and you get to a place, your vibration is high, and you will be able to deal with people, and the people will feel good to deal with you. And if you are going on a business, these are not good. There are also some voodoos that you may bath like water and herbs, because herbs are what make voodoo anyway. You bath some herbal bath and everything, and you go out and you begin to attract the things that you want to attract towards you. So voodoo can do almost everything. So, but the biggest problem we are having is that people outside the culture, and even ourselves, we think that voodoo is only limited to the African, or limited to only the Ewe or the four people. Voodoo is a universal energy. Anywhere that people can use energies and spirits to work in their favor. If we, the Ewes, we want to say what those people are doing, we will say they are doing voodoo.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Noku. Thank you very much.
Bokor Christopher.
Hello.
I will close soon because there's not many people. But I have a question in regards to, I come from the Yoruba perspective.
Okay.
In Ifa.
Okay.
Ifa.
Yes.
But I want to know, since you're the elder, you know, I asked a question last week when I entered this group for the first time. I want to hear from you, the elder. What is Afa in Voodoo? Is it this exclusive overall energy that Yoruba say it will do everything for you, or is it just a spirit? I want you to explain.
Thank you very much. Is the name Suhati or Suhani? What's the full name?
Surabi.
Surabi. Okay, Surabi. Thank you very much. The word is about word Ifa. So Afa, as per the Ewes, is a divination tool. The voice, the pathfinder voodoos, or the voodoos. Take, for instance, someone has a voodoo that is with him, whether he made it himself, or somebody made it for him, or he inherited it from his ancestors. And he or she does not know how that voodoo. He may know, he may not know. Directly hear the request or the things that the voodoo would want him or her to do. He cannot see with his naked eyes what should be seen and walk accordingly. There, the Ifa or Afa becomes the tool that will communicate with the voodoo, and then now person who is a physical being that this is what your voodoo is saying. So do this, do that, and the voodoo will do what you are expecting it to do for you. Or if you want to send the voodoo to do something, do this and do that for the voodoo, and the voodoo will go and work. So for the Ewe people, Afa is also a spirit on its own, but it's a divination. It's a spirit of divination, that which brings the secret things out, so that you can know how to walk alongside it.
Thank you very much.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, it makes a lot of sense, but I'm still trying, like I asked last week, the way Yoruba presents Ifa, even though they do their own separate things secretly, they say that Ifa is an overall spirit that without Ifa you cannot know your destiny, and all of these things you will get when you initiate to Ifa, and you will be able to conquer anything in the world with Ifa. I wanted to know, from an elder, how does he see that's cultural worldview.
That was what I was trying to say, because the Ifa as or Afa as in Ewe is to give you the secret of things that you don't know. But the way Ifa is done in Yoruba land, which is the origin, it is more of a religion than a spirituality to many people. But in every tradition, Afa is not regarded in the form of a religion, but more of the Vodu is where people will ask the Ifa to tell us what to do with the Vodu, or how the Vodu wants to be treated and how to be handled. So we in Ewe land, not very much people who are doing the religious aspect of Ifa, whereby worshipping of Shango, Yemoya, and Oshun, and dressing up and going to river and dancing, and no. In every Fa, the Fa is going alongside the Vodu, the deity, so that the deity is properly addressed and what to be done for it. And Afa, it will also be thanked, it will be properly thanked for giving the information about the Voodoo and how it should be treated. So the way people do the worshipping part of Ifa is not that very much in the Ewe land as this thing. We have we feed our Ifas, or we feed our Afa, and that is that time. And then after feeding Afa, then we ask Afa, what is the next thing to do? What is this year going to be like? And then if the Afa says, well, one of your Voodoo amongst your Voodoos is not working well, so do this, do that for it so that it can work for you. So Afa is more of a messenger who just the messenger between the gods and men. Let me call it that way.
Okay. Well, I'm liking the way you guys are seeing you in the Ewe perspective. Yeah. Because I find myself sometimes very overwhelmed with the requirements in the Yoruba, many lineages, because there's not only one lineage in Yoruba land, there's many different ethnic groups within the Yoruba kingdom. But I find myself very overwhelmed and sometimes mentally drained. I don't know if I'm overthinking it.
No, you are just being realistic.
Come again, sorry?
I say you are just being realistic.
Yes. I'm trying to find the practicality of the Yoruba way in relation to what my head, my purpose is, and it's I'm at odds at this point. I'm a little bit, I'm questioning.
You need to question everything, otherwise you cannot know. The Yoruba is the origin of Fa, And then when Fa migrated to other cultures apart from the Yoruba, or maybe other cultures came out of the Yoruba and then expanded to migrated to other places. Wherever it is there's a little bit of adulteration from the original Yoruba, but it's all still linked to the main Yoruba way. But in our part of the Afa practices or the Ifa practices, it is more of a messenger of the gods, the one that gets messages from the gods and tell you how to work with your voodoo. Mind you, before our people would get in touch with the Yoruba to learn the Ifa, they had their own Ewe, which is the voodoo cult. They have had their own Ewe voodoo cult. The Ewes have got, and I believe the Yorubas also have. Without using Ifa or anything, we can still see and we can still hear. There are processes and initiations that they can make for you that you can see and you can hear. So, without Afa at all, my godfather, Tobe Tuji, never was initiated into Ifa, but he could see even to the end of the world.
Wow.
So the Ifa becomes the easiest way of seeing. Why? Because it is based on a formula that when anybody who can apply that formula and knows the mathematical calculation of that formula will be able to get to a solution. Whereas someone who is a seer can sometimes make a mistake because maybe the energy that is talking to the person at that time may not give the right information. I believe very strongly that could be one of the reasons why our people got Ifa and then added to what they had already in order to be accurate in doing divinations and readings.
So you're telling me that there came a point in our history as we were becoming, I'm just, adding things, you please disagree, that we were disconnecting from the source, so we had to use a tool like Ifa.
Definitely, that's it, because it's not everybody who's extra sensory perception ability is very sharp, and it also varies from one person to another. And perception, or ESP as it's called, or the third eye, or instinctive seeing, varies from one person to another. But in the case of Ifa, it's a formula. So when that formula, which is the Odus of Ifa, when the formula falls, if it is properly your Opele, or the divination chain is properly prepared, and when it falls, it will fall, whether the person is in America, or the person is in Germany, or the person is in Africa. When the oracle falls, it is the same thing that it will say. It doesn't differ. Once the person makes a request and asks the Ifa to say, it will fall on the same thing. Whereas in the case of reading, using other tools of reading, which is not Ifa, the reader, the mood of the reader, all the things will also determine what the person will see, because we were just talking about emotions and everything earlier. Whereas in the Ifa, when you told the Opele, when the Opele falls, what falls, that's what you are going to talk about. You will not talk about something different.
Okay.
So the Ifa makes it easier for people, so that even a child who goes through the Ifa initiations and learn how to cast the oracle will be telling the same story if he or she knows the story, and like any other adult will say it. Whereas in the case of the mirror, let's say my mirror, even if I give it to my children to look inside, they will never see anything. Because they do not have that ability of the third eye opening to be able to see as at now. I'm training them slowly, and it takes some time, and they will also get there. But for afar, it is easy once they know that when this falls, this is the stories in it. So afar become much easier as a divination tool, and also clear as a divination tool than many other divining instruments. Yeah.
So, Baba, I'm coming from the Afro-Caribbean perspective. Like I said earlier, when you got disconnected, I don't know if you. My father's from Cuba.
Okay.
And my mother's from the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And I also have Haitian blood. Since we're Dominican Republic and Haiti is from the same island, so
yes.
My mother used to tell me. My mother used to tell me back when she was in her early years in the island that the elders are dying. You know. She would say that people used to see things, and based on what they saw, they were able to do the work. You know.
Right.
And but that is not so anymore because everyone is just doing whatever they want, and they lost their discipline, and they're after money, and they're doing all sorts of aberrations, and they're losing their ability.
You're very right.
Yes. So I also.
The earlier speaker who is speaking, speak finish, and then the lady can also answer now. Let me finish with your this, and then I'll answer the other.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My grandfather from my mother's side, he practiced Haitian Voodoo.
Okay.
But the Voodoo, the Voodoo that was created during the amalgamation of all the cultures of Africa during the Haitian Revolution and all of that.
Okay.
They also used Veve symbols on the ground, which is the derivative of some other ethnic groups in Africa.
Right.
To symbolize the voodoo spirit they were going to be working with.
Right.
But
yes.
I was told that these abilities were lost. Right now we're only dealing with remnants, and a lot of people right now are just joking around. Is there a way that we can regain those abilities? From what happened in Haiti and Quisqueya, which is the island, we also mixed with the indigenous population, the Arawaks, that also had their own spirits. They were called Semi. I was just wondering how our ancestors were able to amalgamate all of these spirits from all parts of Africa and also the native land and make it work to conquer the French, the Spanish, the English, and all the people that tried to bring back slavery to Haiti. How were they able to amalgamate all of this and make it work?
Okay,
I know that
thank you.
Tough question because we weren't there.
Thank you.
I'm still very curious.
Thank you very much for that question. It's a very, very relevant question. Just like what I was saying, that people used to think that it's only the Africans and maybe Haitians, and we are the ones who have voodoo. Even the native Indians, whatever they practice, the Arawaks are practicing. If we, as Eves, are going to call it voodoo, if what is practiced in India or China or maybe in the Pacific, if the kind of their traditional practices that they practice to relate to the divine being or divinity, If we as Ewes are going to call it, we will call it Vodu. That is in our language. So the ancestors who know the working of Voodoo and believe in nature and knows that all power belongs to nature. These ancestors, because they have that idea and that knowledge, they were able to amalgamate everything coming from everywhere into one, and they can use it easily. That's why when I practice at African Magic Temple, I have been in Hinduism, I have done Kabbalah, I have done Christianity, and I have done also my traditional Ewe Vodu, which is what I am practicing now. So because I have this, because I have all this knowledge, that's why when I can put everything together and it works together. I believe strongly that's what the ancestors of Haiti had done in the past, knowing that nature is what is God, and God is what nature is. All spirits of the universe are one. It depends on how you can harmonize and what do you call it, to be able to gather them together and then put them together and work with them as one. But then people try to separate it, and so this is Haitian, this is African, this is Congo, this is that. In general, spirits are just one. They may have different names from different cultures, but they are just the same. And what you can do to be able to harness their energy is what matters most. And they will work for you, whether the way they are working with the native Indians, the same way they are working with the Aborigines and people from the Papua New Guinea, people from the Dominican. It's the same. If you know how to harness them, and they will work as one.
Baba, is there a point that we can, because before we got to this point, the Spirit must have taught us how to do certain things.
Definitely, spirits are they are real. So I think maybe you, in my earlier lectures, some of my past lectures, I spoke about how a spirit can also come and teach you things, either in a dream or in a vision, or even sometimes practically, and then you will be able to use it and you gain. But you must first know that spirit and how to contact that spirit before the spirit will teach you or reveal secrets to you. For instance, we talk about Tobe Jopata, one of the deities in my shrine. When I first came in contact with Jopata, I had only the first incantation. So myself and my teacher, we had only the first incantations. Then it was in our shrine that when we invoked that Tobe Jopata, it came and gave us the second incantation. And it was in the second incantation that someone was looking into the vessel in which it appeared, and then I was also writing down whatever they were saying, and then we got the second incantation, and it is just perfect as if it was human being who taught us.
Okay. It's just that, I want to get to the point in which I am in direct, because dealing with other human beings is to me, I love people, but at points I just don't want to be near anybody. I'm usually by myself because it's almost impossible to my experience, to get something without having to pay sums of money,
Even in the spirit world,
I was told,
even in Ewe Vodu, there is a saying that Ejaeje and Doji and Dotuna mean without money you cannot close certain holes. Always there must be something.
I understand.
Even when we go to herbs, to pick herbs, we don't just pick them because they are just grass in the listen. We have to put some money, some calories, certain things that we can put down and exchange and ask them for their help. So if you don't feel like paying money to learn things, you cannot know the real things.
No, it's not. Probably it came out the wrong way.
Okay.
Sorry for saying it that way.
Okay.
What I meant is an excessive concept. Like there's certain things that I was told when I initiated to IFA that just that basic information is supposed to be given so that you were able to start the process. But
yes, maybe the teacher themselves do not know. So you cannot blame the IFA. You cannot blame the IFA or the AFA. If the teacher doesn't know the information but is doing things to initiate you, they will initiate you into the basic thing of, okay, you see your Boni or your IFA Odu and this and that what it is. But the teacher may not be able to go deeper into teaching you individually as a person that this is what is your path. Do this, do that, and you get to this place. So even we who have been afar for some time now, we are still learning from people that we think that they know more than we were taught. I am personally always ready to learn from anyone who knows something more so that I can add it to what I have learned already. So it is a constant way. One person cannot know it all. IFA is a very big energy, a big spirit, and a big establishment for how many thousands of years. And one person cannot have all that information in their head. And each particular IFA Odu carries about 16 different stories. And one person, there are 16 to 17 oracles. The major arcana is or the major oracles. And one person cannot know all the stories of all this thing. So one person may know some and another person knows some parts. So you must be constantly learning every day to add to what you have if you want to be perfect.
That's Baba.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you for the question. We are all learning. And there was a lady who was trying to speak, and please let's go to her if she's still on.
Yes, Baba, I'm here. My name is Marsha. Peace and greetings to you.
Marsha, thank you.
I fell in this room. I decided to follow you and the other moderators because I was listening for a little bit. But I'm on this journey, and it is quite cumbersome for me.
Very, very.
Because
very.
I'm sorry, sir.
I say it's very cumbersome. Spiritual journey is a very cumbersome, full of difficulties and challenges.
It's very cumbersome for me because I am born of Haitian descent. Mm-hmm. I am fourth generation, first daughter, and I'm just naturally the way I am. My family went into Christianity, so they suppressed and pretty much eradicated any information of voodoo through our bloodline.
Yeah.
My grandmother, who is 90, she's 89, still alive, but she refuses to give me any information or guidance to where the ancestors they took over on their own. I have been through so much. I'm going to be 43 on Saturday.
Happy birthday in advance.
I am very tired, if that is the right word.
Yes, it is the right word. It is the right word.
As you, I studied a lot. I went on a journey. My entire life has been very different than most people. And I went on a journey because I didn't know what else to do because I couldn't get help from my family, and I didn't know why I was the way I was. And so I discovered Kabbalah, I discovered Jesus, I studied, I had the Zohar, I studied every spiritual system, and I got to a point where I came to the understanding of what things were. even down to I was led into Ifa just to briefly learn because it took me from Ifa, the ancestors jumped me over to actual Vodun, Benin and Daomi, and I've been sitting with no teacher, nowhere to go because nobody actually knows anything. I actually had a Paulo Mayombe, the real one, reading, and there's a group that I kind of, frequent a little bit just to, but there's still not a connection, and I'm trying to understand what the ancestors want from me, what I need to do at this point, because the only thing my grandmother said to me was, never initiate anything you don't have to, and she wouldn't say anything else. And so even today, I can't talk to her about it, but now I'm sitting and things will be okay at 1 minute, and then I start to reach difficulties and blockages, and I don't know what it is and what it is that they want. I can see, I do my own oracle reading, I'm speechless and I'm dumbfounded at this point because I don't know what else to do or where else to go. And as the brother said, there's no one to trust because people see me before I know they see me, and they see what I have or what I am, and then they go into manipulation and to utilize me and to try to drain funds from me because they see all this money, but the money's not here yet. I don't have it, and it's like instead of receiving what I need to set in place to do the work that the ancestors came to me to tell me that I had to do, because sir, they came to me. I had Haitian Loa spirits come. I had other entities come. And now I'm dealing in nature because I understand that all of it is nature. So now I deal specifically and only with nature. I don't even use the entities so much. But what came to me was, and I'm going to say it as it was, a dream years ago. They are lying and they're misusing us. We are being given a bad name, and we are raising up those who will fix it, and you are one. And that is it. So now I've just been twirling around, and I was listening to you speak, so here I am. I'm just laying at your feet. I need some guidance. I need help.
Yeah, Masha, thank you very much for taking the time to join the clubhouse. Some of us had also gone through the same trials and what will I say? Gone through the meal like you. Everything that has happened to you so far is a training and a learning process. When the right teacher comes your way, all these things that you probably thought were just waste of time and waste of funds will begin to make a meaning to you. I am glad that you have not totally given up, and maybe it is your time to get to the right teachers. That's why the ancestors are directing you. My advice will be for you to go to our website, African Magic Temple, and also to Revolution Voodoo Education, and so that you can listen to some of our videos that we have made over the years. We have so many teachings, and these Sunday teachings, I think we are in our 3rd year now. This Facebook Live, I think we are in our 3rd year or 2nd year. So, 3rd year, yeah, in our 3rd year, and you take your time and slowly go over the teachings that we have been giving out to the world, and maybe you find yourself somewhere in there. And if you like the way our teachings are and you think we can be your teachers, we are always here because we believe in ourselves that we are very real and authentic. We are here to teach. That's the message that we have when we are coming into this world and we are teaching. So, Masha, you should be rest assured. I think you are almost closer to the goal than you were a few days back. thank you very much for joining the section. You get into our pages, you can have a direct personal contact with me. You can ask me other personal questions that you want to know, and I'll try to explain to you. And if you think that our teachings are something that resonate with your way of life, why not? We are here to teach. Thank you very much for joining. I can really very much understand what you are feeling. I had been there, so I know.
Thank you, sir. I am following the group. I will go on the Facebook pages and I will begin to go ahead and do some research and study, and I will be in contact with you because this is my purpose. No matter what I try to do in my life, it doesn't work.
It will work. It will work soon. It will work soon. It is your destiny to do the work, this work. When you get there, every other thing will start working very well for you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Only this, like when I focus back here, then things in my natural life will begin to flow. But if I go in the natural and try to just get a job or try to do something else, everywhere is blocked. And then I have to come back into studying Vodu and spirituality. And I'm like, but I'm studying, okay, I communicate, I received the reading, and the ancestors came through and said they were very happy with me. And I said, well, thank you, but it doesn't feel like it. So, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Because you will not let me do this, you will not let me do that, and I don't know.
You are lucky, Masha. You are very lucky. Why do I say that you are lucky? Because it's not many people that experience what you have experienced. But then they are also still trying to be on the path of their ancestors. But you are so lucky that a lot of challenges came your way and you tried to go here, go there. But because your blood, your DNA is from the base of Vodu, any other one will just be a lesson to learn. You will eventually be in Vodu before you get your satisfaction, before you get your peace, before you know that you have reached. So, because that's part of your DNA. It is not you who brought that upon yourself. You were born with it. And then once you get into that right place, you will be satisfied and you will be happy.
And I believe so, because I found more peace when I started to learn about Vodu. And I understand the Haitian Vodu, I do, but it doesn't bring me comfort. And those loas don't really come and speak to me, but I can send them to do things for me, and they will go. But if I need help, it's not them. When I need help, I must go outside to the trees, to the river, to the ocean, and sit there, and then I will receive my instruction on where the help comes. Which that's when I started to practice Vodu from the continent, and I began to find a little bit of peace. But living in Florida, to find an instructor to help me with the real Vodu and not keep running across my Haitian brothers and sisters, and I mean no disrespect to them, but the games they're playing, my spirit or my soul sees further. Like I can't. It's so difficult because I can see people and they don't understand that I can see them. Like I see them. I see it. I know who's real and not that they're real, but who's playing and who's not, and who takes their game serious, and they may be serious up until I come. Then when I come, it's like it turns into something else because they see something further than I can see, or maybe I know, and put me in like a tailspin, like send me in another direction, and it's and I apologize, but it's just so.
Masha, I think that you should rest your case now because you are at the right place. and no one is going to take advantage. No one is going to take advantage of you. And maybe some of the students that had passed through our shrine so far may help you to bring you closer home to understand what the reality is and what illusions are. We are trying to be one of the best, if not the best, as far as African traditional Ewe Vodu, which is the mother of Haitian Voodoo, that we want to be the best. And you will never run through here. You will find your fulfillment.
I rest my case. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you too. Yes, and someone also wanted to talk. Please, can we hear who wanted to talk?
Yes, good morning. Hi, my name is Alana. I have a very short and simple question.
Hello, Alana, go ahead.
Blessing. Oh, sorry?
Alana, you're welcome. Thank you, and go ahead with your question.
Good morning, Bokor Christopher, and everyone at African Mass Temple. I was just wondering if you guys ever have festivals and blatant times of the year, or you host such events where you are welcoming outsiders to come and to visit, whether that's to participate or study or learn, because I live in the U.S.
Yes,
and,
we do.
I just always felt like I wanted to go back to Ghana, and that's where you are located. So I was just looking to see what time you might be willing to bring in people for different purposes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alana. At the African Magic Temple, we have twice a year rituals. One is at the end of the year, which is the 31st December, the rituals of thanksgiving to the energies and the spirits and the voodoos and the principalities, call it whatever you want. We say thank you to them for working throughout the year, helping people's life and changing destinies, and also helping we who are working with them. So we do 31st December is the day we finally say thank you to them, and before entering into the new year. But the ritual actually starts from around the 21st of December, and we do many other things until the finale will be on the 31st of December. Also, we do the mid-year, which is on the 30th of June, before 1st July, and that one also will start from somewhere around 25th of June until the 30th of June. So these 2 days in the year, or these two events are our yearly events that we say thank you to the spirits and listen. And people are invited from everywhere, and whoever wanted to join us, either to come and do divination or come and study or come and be part of the celebrations, our doors are open to them. And I think my son, Senna, should get back to Masha and Alana. We had an internship program some years, and we have had some students coming from different places in the world to come and intern with us. So I would like you people to get in touch with Senna. They are the ones who form the Revolution Voodoo Education. He is the founder. He and Pele, my sons, they form this thing. That's why you people see me on this platform now discussing what I am, because what we do, it was just a family thing that we were doing, and we were not doing it for the public. But because of them, today we are public to everybody. So please get in touch with Senna. I think he's the moderator of the clubhouse. So get in touch with him, and he will be able to guide you to what we do and how you can become part of us, come to learn from us. So please go ahead and do that. We want to teach as many people that are willing to learn.
you, Bokor. I appreciate that, and I will send Senna a message. God willing, I'll be able to travel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alana.
Thank you as well, Bokor.
Thank you, Masha. Thank you, Masha. Thank you. Senna, is there anybody here again? Is Senna on?
Oh, I think he may have left for a minute, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Okay.
No, it's here. Senna.
Okay, Senna. Okay, let me just read something on the Facebook. Charlotte Forte Panelli saying, thank you. Do you have telephone consultation too? Yes, we do online reading and telephone consultation as well. Thank you very much, Charlotte. And Charlotte again say thank you so much for the definition of voodoo. It is so camouflage in the States and demonized. That's why it is everywhere. It's everywhere because the language of a culture of people plays a very, very, very deep role in the spirituality of the people. So the word voodoo, as it is, if you don't understand it, you only look at it from the point where some chicken is being killed and some blood is being spilled over some idol and whatever. But the word is an Ewe word which has a very deep. People may call it a Vodu. Depending on the Ewe dialect and then the form people speak the other places. Thank you. Life to you. This program because I understand. Forget our answer. They are very spirit and the voodoo is a way of West. That is a way of life. The Catholic bishops, the but from it's a way of people. It's not a religion trying to present it. Voodoo is not a religion. When you wake up, you pray. When you see certain kind of snake crossing your way, you let them pass by. Don't chase it because you want to kill it. And you don't go whistling in the night anywhere. You don't go to your farm and sleep with a woman on the earth, the bare earth in the farm or anywhere. Those are a way of life. They are all coming from voodoo. People practice it, but they don't call it voodoo, but they don't know that it is the way of life of the Ewe people. So voodoo is more of a way of life than a religion. And then we have Charlotte Forte says, so okay, that's what I just said. Then I had Bafira crew, but we Nule Dolo, oh Bafira and now, and then he said, Metia Avalu, Meshia Volu, Milo, Oyo, And then we have Kwame Yarude. Good evening. I greet you and thank for the good work you doing. Me understand something. Is it possible for one to go for an Ifa consultation and the Odu that was revealed, the Ifa priest did all the sacrifice, yet still the client is not seeing anything positive for the past 2 months? Yes, it is possible that you can go for a reading that the oracle prescribe some rituals to, and the rituals are done, but you are not seeing a result. It is very possible it happens from time to time. That for you during the reading, it brings the problem that you have sent there, or the problem that you spoke on the money. Maybe the divination chain, or the Bele as the Ewe call it, or the Gumaga as the Ewe call it, is not able to pick the information. So when they do the sacrifices, they'll be doing the sacrifices on the Odu that has fallen. But then the Odu that has fallen, probably because the chain is not properly prepared, was not able to pick the information, so the rituals may not materialize on the physical plane. 2, maybe there is the Odu was actually seen, the divination chain was able to pick the correct problem and the correct sacrifice that is supposed to be done for you. But there must be certain other things still blocking your way, and that those things were not revealed to the Babalawo or to the Bokor at the time of the reading. Also, there could be that you were given certain rules and regulations after the rituals are done, that okay, don't do this, don't do that, try to avoid this, try to avoid that. But as a person, and you did not follow those rituals or those regulations, you may not realize the rituals that were done for you quickly. But I will advise you to wait for another 1 month to see if it will materialize, because I always give advice to people that even when you are hungry, no matter how hungry you are, if you have a grain of corn and you plant it that day, don't expect the grain of corn to grow that very day and feed your hunger. You must allow the grain to grow through this natural process of 90 days. And then after 90 days, you will have enough to eat. But if you plant the corn today just because you are hungry and you are expecting it to grow that very day so that you can eat by tomorrow, you will be disappointed. Because that's not how nature has made its system. Things have to be natural. Even as in Ifatu, they have to be natural. As in Afa, they have to be natural. There is no magic there. Everything is following the course of nature. So when a reading is done for you, try as much as possible to do the rituals quickly, and then you should be expecting the results. Certain times people readings are done for people. Wait for about a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months before going to do the ritual. Within between that 0 month when you did the reading until the time you come to do the sacrifices, so many other things might have come into your life which had added to what problem you were having already, or whatever challenges you were having already. But then at that time the reading did not cover the new challenges, and now you just brought your things and items that the priest should do the rituals you did about 2 months. The priest will do it, but at certain time, because of the new things that have added, you cannot see the results quickly. So I will advise you to have a little bit patience, and then and also contact your Toboko or Babalawo who did the rituals for you. Let them know what you are experiencing, and then there is definitely there will be a way whereby the teacher will be able to guide you and give you assurance. Or maybe there could also be a subsequent reading and ritual that can be done to boost the first ritual. So that is what I can advise you on. And then we have Crystal Arbori Passmore. What are the sites again? Okay, I think it has been there. There's a Voodoo education is there, and then there's African Magic Temple .net stroke divination. That is for the divination, but you can go straight to the African Magic .net page and be able to read some information. Our video there on YouTube and on Facebook, and you can go through them. I think we have some also on Instagram. Okay, we have our sister Monica Kova here saying good morning and blessings to you and your family. Thank you for your enlightenment. Thank you very much, Monica. How are you? Thank you very much for joining. And then we have the Amedijata Butu. Amedijata Butu Panji. Good evening. Amedijata Yo, Amedijata Wezo. You are welcome. This big name. Okay, please, I want to know between Trimani Koku and Peza Koku and Tu Koku. Okay, Amedijata, I don't deal with Koku Vodu. I am not initiated into Koku, and I don't think I want to be initiated into Koku. So if I'm going to talk about any Koku, I don't even know the differences of the Kokus. Whether there's Peza Koku and Tu Koku, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not into that type of voodoo. It's a very good voodoo. A lot of people are initiated into it, but I don't think I have the interest in that yet. But then if you have that interest, I think that if you know about them, why don't you approach a Koku voodoo Huno, so that they can actually give you some insight into it, because I personally don't know much about Koku. I know Koku as Koku, but I don't know the inside and the working of Koku, so I can't talk about what I don't know. Thank you very much, Amedijata. And Amedijata saying thank you. Okay, I'm also saying thank you, but this your name is big name. Thank you all. And then let's see who is there again. We are done. Let's go to Facebook too. We are done. Okay, and then is there any last question coming from Clubhouse, so that I can just finish that one, and then I hang up my gloves. Yahweh. Where are you? I can't see you. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. So please, I think we are almost done. And if there's no more question from your Clubhouse, then I think I will just pour a simple libation and close the section.
Good evening, Papa and family. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
Good. This is Anthony. And I have a question that Taraf actually wanted to pose. He's been reading the Bible a lot lately. And Leviticus. There's
Angie, you were talking about Leviticus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wanted to know if that was based off of evidence of voodoo or things that were they deal in spirituality, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Torofe, how are you? Williams, thank you very much. The problem, which is actually not any problem, is that is where all the being Jewish, Ewe came from, or was documented, not even came from, that was documented. Back into history, most Africa to the pharaohs of Kemet, and people were up and from people like other places. In the Jews or were one time living in Kemet. So those rituals that they had put into Leviticus started moving from Egypt to their newfound land, or they say it is their home. Whether that is true, that is their home or not, but that is not my point of argument or discussion here. They carried a lot of these traditional practices of sacrificing and how God used to eat food with them. And so that has been put into the Bible, and as well it's in the Kabbalah, it's in other, if you have posted about the Yom Kippur war, where the Jews use chicken to wipe their head before slaughter, they can cleanse themselves. Just like when you people were chicken to wipe your bodies before, so that we cleanse them. So the Jews do the same thing, and we, the Ewes, also strongly that somewhere along the way, the Jews and the Ewes, or Africans and the black Africans and the Jews or the Hebrew people had some contact, and that is probably not recorded in modern history. But our ways of worshiping God and the way we relate to the divine is still the same. Christianity, on the other hand, came from Europe. So, because Christianity came from Europe, it has something different totally from Judaism and how Africans pray to the divine and the rituals Africans do. So there is nothing wrong with reading the Leviticus, because it is a proof that God once was eating chicken and goats, and God likes blood. So I don't know when God decided not to eat blood and he changed. I cannot imagine how God can change. Then he's not God. So Williams, you are fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so now then I'm going to close the section by offering a last prayer, and then thank you, and I thank all of you on Clubhouse and Facebook and YouTube. All the questions were very, very beautiful, and I have not forgotten about the request you made concerning your money, and hopefully this coming week I should be able to put everything together and then let you know. I have not forgotten you at all in any way, so please don't feel that I have forgotten about you. You are still very fresh in my mind. Your request is still very fresh in my mind. It's only that I've been so much busy doing everything here and there, and I couldn't get to be back. And then we have Kenneth, Boss HQ here today. I'm late. Yes, Kenneth, you are late. I'm almost closing before you are joining us. But then it is better late than never. You are here, and everything that we have done today, all the discussions that we have done today are online. You can go back to them. And also the problem is that the problem too is that today we have so much challenges with the network, so we have it has gotten broken many times. So you may be getting pieces and pieces of today's lesson. And please join when you want closest. Try to get the other so that you can listen to what we have said today. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pour a simple libation for all of us, so that the ancestors and the gods of our land, the images, the divinities, the deities, all will help us have a fruitful coming week. Oh, I go, my somebody is a kitty cutter, the same mayor, the mayor Jopata, mayor Kai, mayor Afanabo, Afabo Majes. What was Ben? Who mayor? Mayor Pauline Bemeji, Kumeji, Woli Mediti, Meji, so many Woli Meji, Abla Meji, Aklabi, Budami, Sabi, Kami, Meji, to Lieutenant Chimney, Woli Chetula Mayor, Clever Villicum, Toma, Identity. The Mayor Miapiki, Mayor Kai, Mayor Miakalo, Mayor Miakalo, that told Lindo, Lindo, Potoji, Beja, and Bacomaquat, Chin, and Tuna Lindo, just imagine you neck window, obey you, make a different figure. Now, put you on the board, which you want, and one phone, and you want, and a trombone, and Danny and Bone. You, I may be popular. I may live with you, if you want to puffy note. I may let the woman talk by dog or no pot or no. I may pot dog. Head dominated general, Doba Mono Guna, Agua Mono Guna, Lamassis Mono Guna, Ungabi Mono Guna, come a Gigi Mono Guna. Let me show Billy Gagarakari, as you Gaga, Tonania Basimalo, Asineti, a Conedi, to Mias Romaga, and no Omaga, baby, no Ramiro. Thank you all, everybody. I've just prayed and wish you all a very successful week this week. May the ancestors continue blessing and guiding all of you. Thank you very much for today, and I'll see you again next Sunday, God willing. Thank you very much, and bye bye to all.